Yerrrr! What's going on, guys? It's your boy Burrow77 coming to you live for another We Outside Wednesday. I'm recording this a little late tonight because I wanted to watch the games we were talking about on Tuesday. We went 3-1-0 on CBB picks over on Twitter tonight, and with the video shorts, we go 2 and 1 push. No losses on the video shorts tonight. So I'm super excited. Have my show prepared, getting ready to record. And we're going to go live. We're going to do it now. Fuck it. Saturday's results. We went 2-2. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on the recap because, we've already moved on. We already hit some bets today. So I'm pretty not salty about any Saturday's results anymore. Mini sweep today. I'm still calling it a sweep, by the way. A push I don't think should count against you when you're counting sweeps. It's no losses. So 3-1-0, we take those. Anyway, Saturday, UConn -4.5, easy cover. Oklahoma on the road at UCF. Played like ass. So forget about that one. Indiana State does their job, covers the -4.5. And then if you are in the Discord or ride with me on Discord and Twitter, I think I tweeted this out. Anyway, we took the money line live while they were down to Drake. Not only did they cash the money line live at +130, we got our pregame tip at -4.5. Foul trouble got to Drake there. And then Oregon on the money line. Late night, Pac-12, after dark, couldn't take care of the UCLA Bruins. Maybe I don't need to respect Oregon as much as I thought. So we'll keep it moving here. This is without any of tonight's results. I wasn't going to redo the math and redo this slide because that was too much effort on my end. The season record is what it is. Saturday, we went 2-2, like I said, for -0.18 units. The CBB show record is 19-1-23 for let's call it 3 units. And overall, I am 109-3-100 for +2.08 units coming into this afternoon. I'll get that record updated for when we do our next college basketball show, which is Friday night / Saturday morning for the mega slate. Let's jump right into this. I got 3 quick games for you. They're all mid-majors. I will talk about the other games at the end, and I will put a lean sheet out for you guys since we are starting to get a lot better numbers here. First off, we got High Point -2.5. High Point is on the road taking on UNC Asheville at 6:30 p.m. on ESPN+. I know last time we went with a UNC Asheville game, they were on the road to Gardner-Webb. They played well all game, and then they just kind of choked it away at the end. And I said I hadn't watched a ton of UNC Asheville. Well, I've probably seen a little bit more of them now. I've watched 3 of their games fully for sure, but I've watched a lot more of High Point. And High Point is by far the class of the Big South. They're the best team in this conference, and it's not even particularly close. High Point makes their free throws. I've watched a good amount of High Point, and they've cashed us out on several tickets on this 12-game win streak they are currently on. High Point just lives at the free throw line. They get to the free throw line number 7 in the country. So they take the 7th most free throws of any team in college basketball in the country, which is super impressive. They know how to draw contact in the paint. They know how to get to the line. And then they knock them down. They knock them down at a super high clip. They knock them down at just shy of like 80%. So this team just lives at the stripe. That's a great way to win road games in college, especially because UNC Asheville is prone to putting teams at the line frequently. High Point also is just going to dominate the glass, especially defensively for them. That would be preventing UNC Asheville from getting second chance opportunities because they can't clean up the offensive glass very well. And then these teams are kind of similar on the defensive glass. So I like High Point for their ability to wax the glass, get after the rebounds. They're the cream of the crop in the Big South. They win games. They're on a 12-game win streak, and they make their free throws. We're going to go ahead and take High Point, and I'm comfortable laying the -2.5. I would take this to -3, no problem. Going through the 3 always gives me hesitation. It is a sharp number. It is a full possession in college, and it came into play for us tonight with South Carolina. We paid extra juice to take the -3 instead of the -3.5, and we ended up with a push instead of getting hooked for a loss. So that number is important. Keeping it moving right into LaSalle at home. They are taking on SLU, the Billikens, at 6:30 p.m. on ESPN Plus. This is another early tip-off. St. Louis is having a really tough season. They lost their number 1 point scorer and arguably the best player on the court and in the program early in the season in a multi-team event, like one of those tournaments where you stay for a full weekend and you get guaranteed 3 games. Anyway, they lost their best player. They have a ton of freshmen. They're really young. They have a ton of international students as well, which I always find really interesting. And they have talent. They just can't put a 40-minute game together to save their lives. LaSalle, well, they're not the best. They are decent, and they are better at home. LaSalle chucks up a ton of shots every game, and they like to shoot the 3 ball. LaSalle rebounds really well, and SLU will not get many second chance looks. Again, they don't clean up the glass offensively very well. LaSalle does on the defensive end. So this is, I always find it tough to get a road win when you don't rebound well, when you don't shoot your free throws well, when you don't get to the stripe a ton. And I'll be honest with you, St. Louis just doesn't make a ton of buckets. They struggle a ton offensively because they're so young. They do have a lot of heart, and they put in a ton of effort on the defensive end. I just always think it's hard to win road games when you can't score, and St. Louis has unfortunately lost 6 in a row. LaSalle is definitely playing better. If they can make shots at home because they chuck up so many, and especially if the 3 ball is falling, again, it's at home, familiar backdrop, easier rims that you've practiced on before. If those shots are falling, they should completely wipe the floor with St. Louis here. I like getting this number inside of a full possession. So give me LaSalle. I'll lay the -2.5, and we'll keep it rolling. A-10 basketball. You know I love the A-10, so we're going back to it. George Mason at home, looking for a bounce-back W, while Loyola Chicago comes to town at 7 p.m. on ESPN+. Mason has lost back-to-back road games, and it's definitely been a struggle for them. There are 2 really tough losses to good teams in the A-10. St. Joe's on the road by 2, and UMass on the road by 1 in a completely wild end of the game scenario where Mason just lost their heads a little bit. So I think they'll have been coached up well and have had some tough practices this week. We took Mason over the weekend, and they covered for us at home. I like them to bounce back against what I think is an overrated, little inflated Loyola Chicago team. I don't have a ton of respect for this squad. I faded them versus Richmond in their building. I faded them several times this year, and it's gotten me to the window more often than not. Loyola Chicago is decent, but they're a middle-of-the-pack team. Mason, I think, is a full level better than them. I think Mason's right there in that tier 2 with VCU and a couple other squads. So I like Mason here to bounce back at home. Mason is way better at getting to the free throw line. Loyola Chicago doesn't get to the free throw line at all, and when they do, they miss. They don't convert them into points. Mason gets to the charity stripe early and often and converts them into points. That is massive against a team who doesn't shoot free throws well. Both of these teams like to step out and shoot the 3 ball. They like shooting behind the arc, but they don't do it a whole ton. When they do it, they knock them down. They both have very high 3-point percentages for teams that don't shoot a ton of threes. when Mason is having an off night from three, that can typically cost them games. They don't typically struggle in their building. Again, it's familiar backdrop, familiar rims, home court advantage in college is such a massive deal. Also, the Mason fans show up. It's a tough gym to play in. So Mason, last but not least, they're significantly better on the glass and in the paint. I'm always more comfortable with a team like Mason who can get to the paint, draw contact, get to the free throw line, knock them down. That's how you win games at home. That's how you win tough conference games at home. And that's how you beat middle of the pack teams like Loyola, Chicago. So we're taking George Mason minus the 4.5, and we'll keep it moving. That's the three I have for you. Those are the three numbers I'm comfortable with taking now that I think we'll get decent closing line value on. We'll go over a few leans after this. High Point minus 2.5. I don't trust UNC Asheville, even at home. High Point, they're the cream of the crop of the Big South. It's their conference to lose on a 12-win streak. Keep it rolling. SLU at LaSalle. We're going to back LaSalle at home. High volume shooting team in their own gym. SLU has a bright future to look forward to. It's just not this season. So LaSalle laying the minus 2.5. Loyola Chicago at George Mason. We're taking the home team here again in the A10. George Mason needs a big bounce back after two incredibly tough road losses. I think they're a better club than they've showed in the last two games, and a home game should get them right here. Quickly on the lean sheet, Alabama heads to Auburn, you got your ass kicked in Alabama's building. You should win this game. I don't want to lay minus 4.5. I'll think about this number if it gets anywhere near that 3. But listen, I respect Auburn, but you struggle to close. Alabama, you a little bit the same thing, and you're not nearly as good on the road. So I have that as a coin flip game. I hate this number. 4.5 is way too big for me. I want Auburn, but I want it a much skinnier number. And if I'm going to take Bama, I want it outside that 6 number. So for me, this is stuck in no man's land. I got no play on it. LSU plus 14.5 at Tennessee. I get it. Tennessee needs a bounce back statement, home win here. And they need to look good doing it. I think LSU's got some fight in them. I think they play good ball. So give me all the points with LSU. Again, that's just a lean. I'm not sure I'm going to take that one. Another marquee game we got to talk about over in the Big Ten. Scotty on the road at Michigan. Listen, you have no idea what you're getting night in and night out in the Big Ten. Scotty sucks away from their building. Michigan sucks in general. They're one of the most inconsistent teams in college basketball, and they're a complete roller coaster. You have no idea what you're getting night to night. So, gun to my head, I would have to take Scotty minus the 5.5 there. Nova on the road at Xavier. I kind of lean Nova plus 3.5 here. I don't like this at 3. And I might take Xavier if it falls underneath 3. For me, this is just probably going to be a no play spot. Xavier is mad inconsistent. Nova plays good defense, knocks down 3 points. It's Big East basketball. It's tough. Nova is in desperate shape. They need any win they can get under their belt. Over in the ACC, Pitt is taking on NC State. NC State minus 3. I hate Pitt on the road, and NC State, I think in their own building, just plays better ball. I like getting this number inside one possession. And a push at minus 3 is fine there. Davidson at Duquesne. This is another A10 matchup. I love Duquesne at home here. Davidson, they're having a really bad year, and they're having a really bad start to conference play, and Duquesne's playing really good ball. So give me Duquesne minus 5. Cleveland State at IPFW. IPFW just took down Youngstown State in their building. That was a massive win for them. I have a lot of respect for Youngstown State, and the Horizon League is competitive and high scoring. So if you like games where teams score a lot of points and play relatively no defense, the Horizon League is a good league for you to look at. Cleveland State, they can shoot. They don't defend super well. IPFW, they made a ton of buckets. They're at home again, coming off of a massive win to Youngstown State. I think IPFW can cover the spread here, -3.5. I'm fine with that. I'm not going to walk this out much past 4, though, because that's 2 2-point possessions. I don't know. I would grab this number now, though. If you can get -3, even better. If this moves IPFW's way at all, just keep staying on IPFW because Cleveland State is not going to have what it takes to win on the road here, in my opinion. App State on the road at Texas State. App State is awesome this year. They beat JMU twice. They're running that conference. But Texas State plus 8.5 is very big here. Texas State plays smothering defense. App State is very streaky when it comes to shooting. They play defense very well too. The game total here is over under 132.5 right now. With a total like that and a spread of 8.5, give me the home dogs because if you can keep this game tight, if this over-under is anywhere close to accurate, there's no way I see App State blowing Texas State out by 8.5. That's just too many points in a game that might only have 130 in it. Creighton, money line at Providence. You gotta lay some juice to do this. I think it was like -130. I think Creighton get a bounce back here after taking that home loss to Butler. Providence is playing good basketball. They are scrappy. They did just get smacked in the mouth by UConn. This is a coin flip game. This is a Big East rivalry. This is going to be absolutely electric television. I'm going to watch. I don't know if I'm going to take a position on this. I'm certainly not doing it tonight. I'm going to look and see what this does tomorrow in the afternoon on the market before I even think about making a call here on Big East basketball. So love this game. Just don't have a play for it yet. Texas A&M -4.5 at Missouri. I don't respect Missouri. They've cost me a couple of bets recently, and A&M's very good. The problem is A&M doesn't score, so if they get in a hole, blah, 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 their defenses should just absolutely pound Missouri, get up early, keep the lead, get the hell out of town. And then time for the two worst games that no one will watch, because why would you ever buy the Pac-12 network at this point? UCLA at Stanford -2 or Stanford -2.5. I like Stanford here at home. You guys know I don't respect the Bruins. USC at Cal -3.5. I think Cal laying 3.5 is an okay spot here at home. I don't have a ton of respect for USC. They're very close teams. I like the home court here. I don't have a huge opinion on this because I don't get to watch a lot of Pac-12 unless it's Pac-12 after dark and it's on national television because I ain't paying for no Pac-12 network. Anyway, those are the games I like. Those are the marquee games. Those are the ones I think are interesting. If you have a different opinion on what is interesting and you want to hear me talk about it, I'm happy to do so. I look at every game on the board. I'm always happy to talk about them. Leave them here in the comments. You can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Instagram. You can holler at me anywhere. I'm always down to talk college basketball or soccer. As you can see, I got a bunch of Real Madrid stuff all around. Those are my two favorite sports that I handicap. I am working all the time with both of them. They keep me so busy. So be sure to check out, if you're into soccer, be sure to check out my Wednesday night show, 2 Foot Talk at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. That's TWO Foot Talk. You can find that on YouTube or follow the show on Twitter. And I also do a Thursday afternoon show at 3 p.m. And I'm partnered with BetUS for that. I cover their La Liga, and I work with Flash and Klaus, who are great. Flash is an ex-striker for Leicester, he's an ex-scout for Leicester. I believe he used to play for Southampton. And then Klaus is a bilingual announcer for multiple leagues. So lots of good soccer knowledge there. Please check them out. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I love doing these. I want to go quick. I want to get out of here. I'm super thirsty and hungry. It's about midnight my time. I got to edit this and get it up. So that's Talking Hoops with Oaks. Appreciate you guys. I'm out.